Hello, 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 everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Patrice, and this is my embellished life. You guys, this pattern was not supposed to happen, but things happen, and here we are. And that is McCall 6959. So if that's something you're interested in, let's get in it. So a few weeks ago, I got invited to a office function and I decided to attend. And it was last minute, so I didn't had a lot of time to play with. And the dress code was business casual. Now, I know my people. And I know that they would tell you one thing and then it's something that is slightly off from what they told you. So they said business casual, okay, cool. But I know that if I were exactly business casual, I would show up there and then I would be underdressed. I'm like, they would not catch me slipping. Not today. So I was in the middle of my sewing plans because I had my sewing plans all set out and everything. And I said, okay, we're going to drop you for a moment because now I had 3 days to get this sorted. So I went into my pattern stash and I said, I think a wrap dress might be the perfect garment for this occasion. So I went into my pattern stash and I selected three wrap dress patterns, and they were Macau 6959, Simplicity 8137, and also Butterick 5850. So these three patterns were the top contenders. All right, cool. Now, I said, let me go into my fabric stash now and see what sort of fabric that I can put together for this. No, because everything is hinging on the fabric because I don't want it to be overly over the top where it's all the way fancy. But I knew that I had to choose something that puts me right on that borderline. Okay, so the fabric was everything right now. So I went into my fabric stash, and my fabric wasn't pleased because there was like, F for you again. Won't you just inherit the other day? Didn't we not make decisions? Why are you disturbing my slumber? And I'm like, relax, people. We got work to do. Now let's come together. Let's come together and make a decision right now. So the fabric that I selected was the first one was this rayon linen fabric. And I bought this fabric from, oh my gosh, Fabric Mart Fabrics a few years ago. And initially, when I bought it, I was thinking a trouser. It never happened. And I'm happy about that. So I had this beautiful royal blue fabric. Let me tell you something. I don't have a favorite color, but if I did, royal blue would be in the mix for it. And I said, okay, you guys know me. I need something to put with this and mix it together and make it Patrice. So I also selected this printed fabric to be the accent fabric. And this fabric, you guys will remember that this was part of my birthday wear for the bubble halter wrap dress the bubble halter dress that I made. And I had extra of this fabric as well. This fabric was purchased from Fabric Wholesale Direct. Yes, so I had some more of it and I still do. And so I decided to put these two together. I figured these two are the perfect combination to go with the look that I'm going for. Put me right at that borderline between business casual and whatever was slightly fancier than business casual. Okay, so we have the fabric. Now it's time to decide which pattern that I want to do. Now, like I said, I selected 3 patterns, and how McCall's 69591 was actually through a process of elimination. Now, I had 3 days, 3 days, not much time. I'm not the fastest sewist. So originally, I wanted to do Butterwick 5850. This pattern has 4 pattern pieces. 4. Look, I love Butterwick for that reason. Not a lot of pattern pieces. The reason why this wasn't selected was because I have the pattern from 8 to 16. When I originally bought this pattern, I was in that size range, but now I'm slightly off. And because I didn't have much time, I didn't want to waste time adjusting the pattern sizes and stuff like that. So I said, okay, another day for you, Butterick. And I mean it, another day for you. Simplicity 8137 wasn't chosen because it was too much pattern pieces to put together. I ain't had that kind of time either. Now the pattern, inside the pattern, there's 17 pieces. I wanted to do view B, and that view required 10 pattern pieces to put together. I ain't had that kind of time either. So this is why this pattern was not selected, which left me with McCall 6959. Now, originally this pattern has 8 pattern pieces for the view that I selected, but I eliminated some of the pattern pieces, and I'll talk about it later on. So, McCall's 6959 it's a wrap dress pattern, as you know, and it has multiple views from view A to D. And the difference between the views, essentially, the length of all the dresses are the same. The difference is whether or not there are sleeves and a collar, right? So view A is fit and flared, and it has short sleeves, no collar, and it also has bias binding as a trimming. View B is a variation of view A. The difference is it's sleeveless, it has a collar, and it also has a belt. View C is slim fitted. It has a contrast collar, and it is sleeveless. And view D is a variation of view C. The difference is it has long sleeves and there's no collar. So the view that I decided to go with is view B. Yes, I did. And I'm so glad that I did. So let's have a chat about McCall's 6959 and all the shenanigans that came with it. I'm just going to show you the outcome of the pattern. And this is the wrap dress. I absolutely love it. This printed portion right here. Woo! I live for it. So we have the collar. No, everything is sleeveless, and this is the back. And of course, I added the pockets, and the pockets also is the same printed fabric as the accent front. Now, this pattern has 8 pattern pieces, I think it is, and I did eliminate some of them. So there's the collar front and back neck facing. There's also collar facing coming down at the front of the bodice. There's the front bodice on each side. There were also arm facing. Of course, those were eliminated. There's the back bodice. There's also the front and back part of the skirt. I added the pockets, so the pockets wasn't originally a part of the pattern. And of course, there's the belt. Absolutely love this pattern. Now, I must say, with the rayon linen, I enjoyed sewing it up. It tends to fray, of course, it's linen, but I find that you have to be careful with it when wearing it because it's easy to for the threads to snag, and then you will have a ream. So I have to see how I can sort out right there. But other than that, I love, 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 love it. Now let's talk about the sizing and pattern adjustments. So according to my finished garment measurements, um, my size would have been between an 18 and a 20. So that's what I did. I cut out um, between an 18 and a 20, and it's a little too big for my liking. It's wearable because I did wear it, and I looked good in it. I'm just saying, but it's a little too big for my liking. The space in the armhole area, there is space in the armhole area more than I would like, and yeah, it's just more space that I want to have, I should say. So I know that when I make this again, because I am going to make it again, I am going to size down to a size 16, which tells me I probably could have gotten away with, where is it? With Butterwick 5850. I probably could have gotten away with the size 16 in Butterwick 5850 and perhaps use a smaller seam allowance. Um, we'll see. I'll measure the pattern measurements, and I'll determine what to do from there. But maybe I could have gotten away with it. But like I said, I didn't have that kind of time to play with, so I did err on the side of caution. So yes, it's a little too big. I did use a 5/8 seam of allowance, but I will go back and size down for the second version of this dress. Other adjustment that I made is that I did shorten the my borders by 1 inch, and I am pleased with that, but I'm not 100% pleased. And I should have just trust the process to begin with and do 1.5 inches, because I did do the measurements and I was supposed to shorten it by 1.5 inches. I don't know why I didn't do that. I don't know. I don't have an answer for you guys. But I did ended up doing 1 inch, shorten it by 1 inch. And you know, that half inch makes a lot of difference. So even though I am pleased, I'm not 100% pleased with it. So that's another adjustment that I'll have to do for the second dress. The third thing that I adjusted was the length of the dress. Now, the finished length was below my knee. I don't like anything below my knee. I am 5 feet 5 inches, and anything below my knee, I just feel like Wee Willie Winky running through the town. You know, I don't like it. It either has to be above my knee or below my ankle, at least for skirts and dresses. And I don't do a lot of maxi dresses, but when I do, definitely has to be below the ankle, sweeping the floor. But for the most part, if you've noticed, I wear a lot of skirts and dresses above my knee. I've tried the mini. That was one of my goals for this year, to do some midi length pieces. It's not working out for me, guys. It's not. So I'll have to take that L. But anyway, so yes, I did adjusted the length of the skirt, and I shortened the length by 3 inches. And it's just at my sweet spot. And I love it. Love, 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 love it. And the last adjustment that I did is that I omitted the arm facings, and I put in the um, bias binding instead. Listen, if I could have eliminated all my facings, including these neck facings, I would have, but I couldn't. And these neck facing gave me a run for my money, let me tell you. Now, as you can see, everything is not tacked down. I've yet to tack it down. Neither is the portion for the collar facing at the front. So I do have to do that before I put it in the wash, in the laundry to get washed. I don't want to put it in to get washed until I've finished doing that. So that's something I have to do. I have to tack it down. But believe me when I tell you, if I could have eliminated those facings, I would have. But alas, just the arm facings that I eliminated. So those were the adjustments that I did. So let's talk about how easy the pattern is. And I have a story for you guys. And this has never happened to me before. I've heard it happening to other people, but to me, never. So one of the things that I like to do when I get a pattern is that I like to read over the pattern before I do anything. And that is just to see, just to get an overall understanding of the pattern and how everything goes together. This time around, and that is before I cut it out and do anything with the pattern. This time around, I kind of switched it up a bit and I don't know what I was thinking. So I had already cut out the pattern pieces before I read the pattern. So I'm going through the pattern and I'm reading it, right? I've passed the first page, I just give it an overall skim through. And the pattern really started on the second page. So, I'm going through the instructions and I'm like, well, wait a minute. These pattern pieces do not look like the pattern pieces at the front. And why is it are you telling me about casings and boning and what's not? And I'm looking at the notions and I'm like, but this dress doesn't require any of these things. And I'm like, what is going on? So I happened to look up in the top left corner. And then I realized that the pattern number is completely different. So what happened, because it's the pattern instructions is 4 pages. So on the odd pages, it was for a pattern Macall 6979 or 6959, sorry. And the even pages were instructions for Macall 7763. Yes. So this was on a weekend because the event was on the Monday. And so it was the weekend. And yes, I did send a message to the Macall's group, but I knew that I wasn't going to get a response, perhaps maybe until Monday, the next business day. So I'm like, you know what, Pat? We're gonna go on a wing and a prayer right now, and we're gonna just do what it do and sew up this bad boy. And that I did. I did get a response from the Macall's group on the Monday, and they did send the instructions for the pattern in its entirety, the correct instructions, but the dress is already made. So I can't really comment on the readability of the instructions because I had no instructions to go off of. Well, maybe just part of the instructions to go off of. So that was the first shenanigan, even before the fitting and anything like that. But because I was able to put together the dress, which tells me the dress is very easy. Well, actually, on the pattern it says big and bold, easy, and yes, the pattern is easy. Like I said, I can't comment on the instructions, but the pattern is easy to put together. So definitely a confident beginner can put this dress together. This dress also requires no notions. Okay? I only required the bias binding, well, this view, because I omitted the arm facings. But if you follow the pattern and the view to a T, you wouldn't need any notion. So it's definitely beginner friendly. What I didn't like about the this pattern and the end product of the garment is that the garment doesn't provide any instructions or any way for it to be fastened. You know, when I wore it, I put a pin on each end of the front buttons to connect it, just for me to feel more secure before I put on the belt. And when I followed the hashtag on Instagram, when I searched through the hashtag, I should say, I noticed that that's what other service did as well. So I know that when I make this dress a second time, my two options would be either to add a button and a buttonhole on either end to fasten it, or I would actually attach the belt on each end and then put a slit on one side of the seam and wrap it around and tie it. So those are my two options. But that was something that I did not like with the original pattern. So what are my overall thoughts about McCall 6959? Definitely a keeper. I love this pattern. I will rate this pattern a 4 out of 5. And that is just because I did not like the fastening. There was no way to fasten the dress to secure it. But other than that, I love this pattern. And I've already selected fabric to sew this dress up again. And let me show you what they are. So I went back into my stash and I selected some fabric. So the first fabric I have, it's let's see, the color is alabaster and it's a rayon crepe suiting. So this is the main fabric that I'm going to use. And my accent fabric, oh, I hope this goes together. I'm not sure. So this fabric is a polyester pebble jacquard suiting and it's teal green. So this would be the accent part of the dress. And I'm excited to see the outcome of the dress. So yeah, this is something that I want to do at the moment, and I'm totally excited to see the outcome of that dress. All right, lovies, that is all that I have today concerning McCall 6959. Hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and also follow me on Instagram where you can keep up with my other crafting shenanigans. I hope you have a lovely day. Enjoy the rest of your week. Think lovely thoughts. Keep on smiling and always remember to make beautiful and wonderful things. All right, lovies, I'm out of here. Bye.